it is interesting that a black Republican has to go on national television to say, no, slavery did not benefit black people. But that's exactly what had to happen. Here it is.
I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
What do you make of that defense?
Look, it is shocking to me, Caitlin, that in 2023, I have to say this. There was no upside to slavery. Slavery was not a jobs program. And also Ron DeSantis just showed his lack of leadership by acting like it was somebody else's fault and not something that was done on his watch. Here is the reality. If you're gonna talk about how African Americans, despite being treated like property, despite having zero freedoms or zero rights, that they still had a tremendous impact on our country. If you want to talk about that, that's great. But to imply that there was an upside, it is unacceptable. And what he should have done is say, listen, that was worded wrong. We're going to fix that. There is no upside to slavery. We're going to make sure that we talk about this and that our kids in schools get a proper understanding of our history. That's how a real leader would have solved this problem, not letting this continue to fester.
Okay, let's put him up full mass. You're looking at Will Hurd, all right? So Will, former congressman, all right, Republican candidate for president, torched the Florida Republican. He said the right words. He created appropriate context. But I have to say, Congressman, you all supported the bigots for years. Their subtle racism became aggressive and it moved to hyper-aggressive racism. You all did not come out against them. You may have said some words at the cocktail party, but there was no absolute denouncing of those individuals. And now it has gone to the next level. Their hyper-aggressive racism has found its way into actual policy. And now black Republicans are saying, whoa, wait a minute. That is just a lack of leadership. In all due respect, sir, I can appreciate your sentiment today, but your entire party has been one failure of leadership after the other. Democrats are not that much better, and that is a problem too. The Florida Board of Education voted on Wednesday to approve a curriculum on Black history that includes teaching that slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their own personal benefit, and requires teaching acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans. It is insane. Vice President Kamala Harris torched the new curriculum also in 2 speeches on consecutive days. And the Tampa Bay Times published numerous examples debunking the claims of the board's working group. But DeSantis defended the curriculum at the press conference, even as he disavowed responsibility for it. So what is this feckless leader doing in Florida? He's saying, well, here's what I think they're trying to do. I think they're trying to make a message to parlay into the reality that some black people receive some skills, and then he denies that he's responsible for it. It was him that ordered his school board to do this. He appointed them. They are political cronies. You think they do something like this without his absolute mandate? Of course not. It is him. But it gives you an idea of what kind of leader he is and is not when he decides to talk on a microphone and he doesn't even sound believable because he doesn't believe himself, right? But he can't take the political hit. So he orders his cronies to do so. That's the kind of man you're dealing with. All right, Sharon, thoughts?
He's got to get home to that pudding. No utensils. Listen, look at the top two Republican candidates, Dr. Richey, and they really keep that proclamation by Albert Einstein relevant, okay? He said it. There are two things that are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not so sure about the universe. That's what he said. DeSantis, he keeps that front and center today.
Every time.